You're listening to the Benton County Public Podcast. As I record this, it's July 31st, 2024, and this is Dan Kroll at the Benton County Fair. I am just outside of the rodeo grounds on this first day of the fair as I record, hoping you will make it as this event goes through August 3rd. We hope you're having a good summer as we look at the western sky, completely blue, just a couple of clouds in the sky today. And we are gathered over here just outside of the 4-H building with myself. Our public information officer, Corey Grogan, is here. And we are joined by the Benton County Rodeo Queen, as well as a couple of folks from the TV news crew. KVAL 13 is here today. Right now, as we are walking past the rodeo, folks are getting set up. The animals are on display. You can hear some sheep and livestock in the distance. And as I look to the west toward Bald Hill on this somewhat windy of a day, there are a number of cars coming to park, folks coming to enjoy this yearly tradition put on at the Benton County Fairgrounds. Who are you with today?
I'm with KVAL in Eugene.
Sweet. Are you guys doing a news story?
Yep, we're here covering the Rodeo Queen today.
And we are also joined by our public information officer, Corey Grogan. How's it going today?
Hey, it's going great, Dan. Thanks for joining us out here. We appreciate it.
I imagine this is probably one of the funner parts of your job as the public information officer, getting to go hang out at the fair.
Oh, I love it. The PR component of this is just really awesome, and it's great to see the community out here gathering around our rodeo. In our fair, it's a real traditional event. It's over 100 years old, and it's just really important for the community. So I appreciate it, and I enjoy being out here.
And even as we record this is on the first day of the fair as we are recording this, and already there are a number of people from the community showing up. The parking lots are filling up on this early part of the day as we record this, and you can hear the tractor plowing the rodeo field in the distance.
Yeah, we have a lot of our 4-H participants and a lot of our folks who are participating in the fair this year are out here getting ready. It's just really exciting to see and anticipating a great turnout this year. And everybody's in good spirits.
And as we kick off this episode, we are going to get a chance to speak with the Rodeo Queen, Naomi Bailey.
Naomi has a really neat story. She's an ambitious young lady. She's an Oregon State student. And she's the Benton County Fair and Rodeo Queen. But in addition to that, she also has a horse named Ochoco who is a recently tamed wild Mustang. So Naomi's journey to be Benton County Fair and Rodeo Queen and her story with Ochoco are both something that she's really proud of, and we're just super happy to have her helping us promote the fair this year.
And as the public information officer, your job is to coordinate media visibility for folks like the Rodeo Queen, as well as getting the word out to the community that the fair has been coming up.
Sure, that's certainly part of it, our public relations, and obviously transparency for the county and getting the right information to the right people at the right time. But part of our job is to promote the fair, let folks know how much fun it is, and just to get people out here so we can really come together as a community.
A lot goes on behind the scenes to make this event happen every year at the Benton County Fairgrounds, a multifaceted event that involves the rodeo, carnival games, carnival rides, as well as community exhibits such as 4-H or even quilt contests. Not to mention all of the livestock and logistics behind just getting the livestock into the barns. It's a big event that has a lot that goes into it.
It sure is. There's a lot of components. The county works really hard at it. We have volunteer community members and a fair board that are passionate about this and put a lot of work into it, and it just means so much, especially for our rural community. And there's rodeos and there's concerts that are free with admission, and it's just a traditional fair. Again, it's over 100 years old, and it's one of the few fairs left that are still, a lot of the same way that they were more than 100 years ago.
And from what I understand, one of the best attended county fairs throughout Oregon to this day.
And I really feel that it is something that brings the community together, and that's just wonderful to see.
I will say, as someone who attends county fairs every year, as I get older, I don't know what it is, it's not that I enjoy them less. I feel a lot of fairs don't offer what they used to, but every year at the Benton County Fair, I'm always happy to come and see that there's enthusiasm behind this. And like you mentioned, there's a fair board. Folks may not be aware of that. There's a group of community members who meet as the fair board.
They do, and the reason they do that is because they care about keeping this tradition alive, and really, especially coming off the pandemic, it's just a way for people to get out and enjoy themselves and connect. And really the connection you see with people at an event like this as part of the community, that's one of the neatest things for me to see.
We are joined by Corey Grogan, the Public Information Officer for Benton County, and as we're speaking about community involvement, I do understand there are a number of ways that folks from the community can get involved, maybe not just being on the fair board, but Benton County has opportunities for folks to have their voice heard.
We always encourage the public to reach out to our email, our pioinfo@bentoncountyor.gov, or there's opportunities to volunteer and be a part of the fair board and other groups that help out with the fair. This fair wouldn't be what it is without the volunteer support. So if you want to learn about different ways to participate in the Benton County Fair and Rodeo, encourage you to reach out.
We have an exciting day at the fair ahead of us, and we are going to meet the Rodeo Queen. She's currently working with her horse and talking with some news folks who brought the TV cameras out. We at the Benton County Public Podcast want to encourage you to check out the county fair. It is going on until August 3rd. And if you're listening to this episode after August 3rd, we hope you had a chance to come out. It's a yearly tradition that, as we mentioned before, does involve a lot of effort, logistics, and I truly believe it pays off if you have a chance to come out here with the family or even alone. I'm kind of a loner myself. Sometimes I enjoy just coming to the fair alone, but it's great to also bring my kids.
I agree with that, and for me, again, I think it's just a way to connect with the community. So it's always something special for me to be out here as well, and I always enjoy it more than I even think I'm going to when I get out here, so it's always worth doing.
And as we record this, it is the first day of the county fair, and we are now joined by the Rodeo Queen, Naomi Bailey. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. My name is Dan. I'm with the Benton County Public Podcast, and this episode we are just visiting the fair on this first day of the fair. Corey and I were speaking earlier about your horse, Ochoco, and those of you listening, you can't see the horse, but I see Ochoco, the Paisley Desert Hippie, as it's named, in a horse area. Why don't you tell us about your horse?
Yeah, so Ochoco is a 6-year-old Paisley Desert Mustang. So he is a BLM Mustang. He was at one point feral, and I was able to get him through the Teens in Oregon Mustang competition.
So he was like a wild horse?
He was, yes. He was the true definition of a wild horse, and that was the first part of his life. So then I was able to get him through the Teens in Oregon Mustang competition in 2021, and at the end of that 100-day challenge, I decided to keep him rather than auction him off, which I did have the option of doing, and I'm super glad that I did.
What kinds of activities do you do with Ochoco?
Yeah, so Ochoco has been broke for less than a year. So as of right now, his base training is in stock horse. So we do a lot of that through my school. I go to Oregon State University, so I'm a competitive member of the stock horse team there. So we do stock horse together, and then he also he does rodeo queening, which is basically just hot laps and flag run-ins and carrying the American flag, pushing cows, all sorts of that fun stuff.
For those who don't know, what exactly is a stock horse?
Yeah, so stock horse is a type of equestrian sport, essentially, and it has attributes of ranch riding, reining, and working cows. So it's a great way to have a ranch horse or a cowboy kind of come into more of the show world, right? It's a great intro to that. And it can also be a way for people that don't have access to cows to, as on a ranch style, right, to be able to do that in a show ring. So it's a lot of fun.
Can you tell us a little bit about what events you're going to be participating in with Ochoco at the fair and how folks could come out and see that?
Yeah, so Ochoco and I have the amazing opportunity of carrying the American flag during our rodeo performances each night, of course. We also will be pushing cows during the rodeo performances, and then halfway through the rodeo perfs each day, I have had the opportunity from this amazing rodeo committee to allow me to really promote the Mustang breed. So I will be doing a little Mustang display. I've invited some of the current Teams in Oregon Mustang trainers to come on in, show off some really cool tricks with their Mustangs, and then I will be also doing just a really cool trick. I'll be jumping over some fire to show that bond between Ochi and I is this strong, right? It's such an impressive bond.
When is that happening?
That is happening approximately 8 p.m. It'll be during the rodeo, about halfway through the rodeo tonight.
Oh, tonight. Okay, as we record this is the first day of the fair, July 31st, and this is going on until August 3rd. Do you have anything going on throughout the rest of the county fair?
Yeah, so I will be doing that same act every night of the rodeo. So we have MPRA rodeo on Thursday and Friday, and I'll be doing the same jobs on both of those days. I also will be doing some meet and greets and that sort of thing, walking around fair and just connecting with the community. And of course, there will be some special times when people can meet my horse Ochoco as well.
Tell us what makes the Mustang breed special.
Yeah, so the Mustang breed is the most trusting, versatile breed that I have had the opportunity to work with. And I just want to promote them to the equestrian community. I think that they are such a valuable breed and they're often overlooked, unfortunately.
What are the Mustangs generally known for?
So unfortunately, Mustangs are generally known for being a feral, wild species, right? So unfortunately, they are an invasive species, and they are running rampant in our...
Out in the Alvord Desert.
Yes, in the greater North American West, and everywhere all over North America. Unfortunately, they don't have the predators because we have moved in, right? So that's pushed out their predators and allowed them to become this super invasive species, and because of their genetics, they will then overproduce, which unfortunately means that they are struggling in the wild and they do need our help. So many of them are just not living a full life, right? So they're starving, they are dehydrated, among many, many other complications, as you can imagine, of being overpopulated. So one of the things that I would love to do is push the American Mustang to the community as a performance horse. They are a performance horse. They can do it all. The bond that I have with the Mustangs that I have worked with is like none other, because they truly see you as something that they need, right? Whereas when a horse starts out their life domesticated, they don't need you, right? They have their mom. They have the people that feed them hay. They have the people that feed them milk. They have all of these things. But Mustangs, their first intro into human life is needing us, because it's just that really deep, strong connection, I think, is just incredibly important. And you can't find it with any other breed. So I think that they are super important, and they are really, really the most versatile breed. I personally have an eventer, a show jumper, and the show jumper also does very pretty dressage. And now Ochi here, he's been broke for maybe 11 months, and we're rodeo queening and going to rodeos every single weekend. It's really impressive.
What does it mean for a horse to be broke?
Yeah, so broke is kind of an overarching term. Some people do use it differently. For me, broke means safe, rideable by every type of rider, right? So someone that can truly not know what they're doing, if they can get on this horse and feel safe, not that it has to look pretty, not that anything has to go super smoothly, but a horse that can take care of their rider rather than the rider having to take care of the horse would be my definition of broke, right? So a green horse needs to be taken care of by the rider that needs to be more knowledgeable than the horse. But when a horse is broke, the horse can be more knowledgeable than the rider.
We are joined by Naomi Bailey, who is the queen of the Benton County Fair and Rodeo, kind enough to join us on today's edition of the podcast, just outside of the rodeo grounds here at the Benton County Fairgrounds. And we're also joined by Corey Grogan, the Public Information Officer for Benton County. And I wanted to ask you, Naomi, how does one become the queen of any rodeo?
Yeah, so specifically the Benton County Fair and Rodeo, we do our pageant during our fair and rodeo. So we actually have 2 contestants here today. If you would like to meet them, I'd be more than happy to introduce them to you. And so what they do is they go through our pageant. So within the pageant is horsemanship. There are speeches, they have interviews, they have horsemanship interviews, they have impromptu questions. So here we really value a strong personality, but somebody that is willing to put in that work ethic, somebody that is going to wear that crown with pride, but also forgiveness to others around them, right? Because this is not an easy job, and we really need that young lady that can put in that work and just be able to support the Benton County Fair and Rodeo in the best way possible. They end up going through this pageant, and most fair and rodeos or most queen titles are similar to this, if not the same. So we have where they will go through a pageant during the fair and rodeo or at a time later in the year because maybe there's just not enough time during fair and rodeo, etc. Right? It is a lot of work to have our pageant during our fair and rodeo, I will say, but it's also awesome to have that community and truly see how well they do in the rodeo environment is super important because you really can't mimic that without a rodeo, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that's how you have the opportunity to hold a queen title. You go through one of these pageants, and sometimes that also includes modeling, sometimes that includes knowledge tests, so written tests. Knowledge about the sport of rodeo is super important to us.
Much like the county fair itself, it's a multifaceted entity. And how long have you been the queen of the Benton County Fair and Rodeo?
Yeah, so I officially gained my title on January 1st, and then my coronation was on February 10th. So my title is a January 1st to December 31st title. So I went through the pageant last year, and I knew that I was going to be given, I became the lady-in-waiting, essentially, after the fair and rodeo here, when I was crowned in the arena, but it was kind of a mock crowning, if that makes sense. So it's just to kind of show who won, and then I don't actually start my title until January 1st.
Very good. And if listeners wanted to learn more about you or perhaps your work with Mustangs, do you have a web presence?
Yeah, I do. So I have Instagram and I have other sorts of social medias. One of my social medias is Cowgirl Naomi Lynn. You'd be able to find me there.
Lynn?
Yes. And then you can also just look up the Benton County Fair and Rodeo Queen Facebook page, and that will link you to all of my personal social medias as well.
And again, you will be performing at the rodeo, 8 p.m. by nightfall, and showing off your connection with your horse over here, Ochoco. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the listeners who are hoping to encourage a number of our listeners to come out to the fair if they haven't already thought about it?
Absolutely, yeah. I think that it's often a misconception that fair, it takes a certain type of person to enjoy fair. I think that there is truly something here for everyone, whether it's the flower arrangements, whether it's the sheep, whether it's the cattle, whether it's rodeo, whether it's the art in the art building. There really is something for everyone. So I would just encourage everyone to at least just give it a try and come say hi and come get an autograph sheet.
And a lot of people like the rides and food as well.
The rides and food. And where else are you going to find fried cola or a fried Twinkie?
Very true. Personally,
do you like food like that?
I do. Unfortunately, there's a cart here that I will probably be eating every single day. It has mac and cheese and barbecue on it.
Naomi Bailey is the queen of the Benton County Fair and Rodeo. Thanks again for your time today.
Thank you.
It's everyone's responsibility to help prevent human-caused wildfires. It's important to practice basic wildfire safety while visiting Oregon's scenic areas and have awareness of weather conditions, restrictions, and wildfire prevention activities around the state. Prepare your home by creating defensible space. Help prevent wildfires when you're out and about, at home, or at work. Have an emergency plan and know your evacuation levels. Sign up for local emergency alerts and warnings at oralert.gov and learn more about how to prevent wildfire at keeporegongreen.org. This message has been brought to you by Benton County.
You're listening to the Benton County Public Podcast. This is Dan Kroll. We are recording this on the first day of this event that is going on until August 3rd here at the Benton County Fairgrounds. And that sound you hear underneath me is the gravel. I am riding in a golf cart right now with the fair manager. How's it going?
It's going great. How are you guys?
Pretty good. What's your name?
Jennifer Martin.
Right on. And you are the fair manager, huh?
Yep, it's my first fair, so we'll see how it goes.
It sounds like a detail-oriented job.
It is very much. It's a lot of planning, but it's been the best time.
So what kind of responsibilities do you have?
So my job is to run around and make sure that all the vendors, the service providers, and the staff are taken care of this week and make sure that there's no issues going on.
And we are recording this on the first day of the event, so it's hard to say just how much excitement you're going to have.
I think it's going to be pretty exciting, though. We have a lot of great things happening this week. We got all the 4-H things. We have model trains here. We'll have lots of great concerts. We have a ventriloquist here, a comedian.
I look to my right and I see the 4-H barn. I see a gentleman with hats for sale, all kinds of hats. And then we've got a lumber company, a psychic reader, cowboy hats, and I mean, just it looks like a county fair to me.
Yes, it does, and it will be here all week until Saturday. Everyone should stop by.
If you are listening to this episode afterwards, hopefully you had a chance to come out to the fair and have a good time. Of course, you can find out more about the Benton County Fair by going online. We are joined by the fair manager, and she's got all kinds of business happening.
Perfect. Hopefully we'll be done here in a few minutes and open the gates, and there will be lots of people streaming through these doors.
What are the hours every day of the fair?
11 a.m. to 11 p.m. The big building off to the left here is going to be closed at 10 p.m. though.
And who is going to be the big music headliner on Saturday night?
So I'm excited. We have a headliner, Sawyer Brown, that'll be here, and they start at 8:30 p.m. and will go until 10.
Make some noise for Sawyer Brown!
Listening to the Benton County Public Podcast, we are joined by Jesse Ott, who is the interim director of the Benton County Natural Areas, Parks, and Events. We are here on the first day of the Benton County Fair. How's it going?
Wonderful. It's, the first day of fair is always kind of a bit of a controlled chaos with everybody moving in, but I know it's fun. The weather's great. We've got so much great food and so much entertainment this year that it's just been a pleasure to even put it together and get together with the community. And so for the last weekend, we've had all the 4-H'ers moving in, bringing their animals in and stuff like that. So it's just really fun to engage with those folks.
What kind of animals have they brought in?
Oh, man, we've got pigs, we've got steers, we've got horses, we got goats, chickens. I think that, guinea pigs, we got small animals, rabbits, all of that kind of stuff. So really pretty much anything you'd see on a farm around here, we've got a little bit of it.
Tell us about your role at the county fair.
Well, so I'm the director of the department, and we have a new fair manager this year, Jennifer Martin. She's doing a great job. And so, really I'm just here to help coordinate everything and make sure people are safe and that we've got everything set up so everybody can have a good time.
Folks may not realize that all part of organizing a large event such as the county fair, it doesn't just involve calling the vendors to come out and set up. I mean, you have to have safety in mind, and specifically, we're in vicinity of the Corvallis fire crew. Tell us about the role of emergency services in regards to the fair.
Oh, it's great. Actually, we were just walking around doing some inspections. So Corvallis Fire Department comes through and they help us inspect, make sure that we have less chances of accidents, make sure less chances of fire.
And that could involve everything from tripping hazards to...
Yep, tripping hazards. These vendors are traveling all over, and sometimes there's different regulations in different areas, so they make sure that they're set for our region, and they're just really great. They really help us. They help them be able to do what they need to do for the fair. So it's a real benefit.
Do you also coordinate security?
Yep, we coordinate security. So we're lucky to have the Benton County Sheriff's Reserves here with us, and TCB Security. So they do a great job at the gates, and then around when you're in the interior of the fair, you'll see the reserves walking around. So we're just really lucky to have their help, and we've got the Sheriff's Mounted Posse to help us out in the parking lot this year as well.
So aside from coordinating all these emergency services and things that are, of course, necessary to keep the fair going, do you also have anything to do with lining up the music acts?
We do, yeah. We work together with the Fair Board, and so that's a big role that the Fair Board plays, and so we go through on what acts might be appealing, try different things out, and so this year we have so many great acts, all kind of culminating in our headliner Sawyer Brown, and but this is just it's a really fun gathering. Actually, this year I think is the 111th Benton County Fair that we have on record. I think there's been about 68 of them on this particular fairground site, but this community has been gathering for over 100 years to do this event, so we're just happy to be a part of it.
You mentioned Sawyer Brown, who is the headliner on Saturday night, and as we record this on the first day of the fair, it is Wednesday, July 31st, and the fair ends on August 3rd, which is Saturday night. Of course, you can go to bentoncountyfair.net to see the full lineup, but starting on Thursday night, who is going to be headlining?
All right, so Thursday night at 7 p.m. we got local country music act Kurt Van Meter, and this will be fun. This will be an album release party as well at the fairgrounds. And then our headliner that night is Justa James, really fantastic country artist. And so Thursday's going to be a busy day for us. 3 p.m. we got our senior day, so Thursday's senior day. Seniors get in free, and there is ice cream social at 3 p.m. And we got the important Fair Foundation barbecue. So the Fair Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit that's dedicated to helping out the Benton County Fairgrounds. And so over the years, they've given over $1 million to this fairgrounds. And some of the buildings here are really some of the ones that they put the effort into. So that's local folks just helping out. So should be a lot of fun. Kurt Van Meter and Justa James are just fantastic. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Who is going to be the headliner on Friday night?
So Friday, we've got Remedy. They do kind of a little bit of everything, 80s, 90s, all kinds of stuff. They're a really good act. And then we've got Shot of Poison. So that's a Poison tribute. And it sounds like they have a really great stage performance.
If they don't do Unskinny Bop, I'll feel slighted.
Me too, yeah. I think, yeah, and then, at the end, I think they have a special surprise for everybody at that concert, too. So look forward to that.
There you have it, a Poison tribute band. I know last year there was a Kiss tribute band.
Yes.
Have there been other tribute bands in the past that I'm forgetting?
Yeah, we've done Stone in Love, there was Journey, we've had Queen tribute, and, some of those tributes are just a lot of fun. You get a chance to, we've had Elton John and Beatles tributes, and so.
What about Rat, R-A-T-T?
We haven't had Rat yet. I'll put that on the list for the Fair Board to consider.
Great White, but don't let them touch the pyrotechnics.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And yeah, fire season, fire marshal wouldn't appreciate that, so we keep the pyrotechnics to a minimum.
Jesse Ott is the interim director for the Natural Areas, Parks, and Events for Benton County and has quite an integral role in making sure that this county fair, this yearly tradition, runs smoothly. He's one of the many logistics people making this happen. As I look around, you see infrastructure, buildings, vendors. It's still an early part of the fair as I record this, but we hope that as you have a chance to listen to this episode that you are either enjoying the fair or maybe you're listening to this after August 3rd and had a chance to get out to the county fair. Jesse, I'd like to thank you again for your time. Have you got any final words of encouragement for fairgoers?
Come on out, have a good time, bring your chairs and blankets for the concert, and your ticket gets you into the fair and the rodeo. We got a lot of rodeo action as well, so just looking forward to seeing everybody come out to the fair.
You're listening to the Benton County Public Podcast. We'll be back in just a minute. Benton County is looking for new members to join its team. If you'd like more information on all of the job opportunities within Benton County government, you can visit governmentjobs.com/careers/BentonOR. That's governmentjobs.com/careers/BentonOR. The distant loudspeaker here at the Benton County Fairgrounds. You are listening to the Benton County Public Podcast, and on this special edition, we are taking a visit to the Benton County Fair. This recording was made on the first day of the fair so that we can get it out and encourage you to come down before it ends on August 3rd, Saturday night, when Sawyer Brown wraps up all the festivities on the main stage. Currently, as I record, there are a few people shuffling around, kind of near the 4-H display building. I'm a fan of the audio postcard. Enjoy this next audio postcard from the Benton County Fair. These are recordings made in various locations here at the fair.
This is a 6-year-old doe in her age doe class. She's had 4 thrushings. She's in what we call an extended lactation, which means that she's milking through from the year previously she did not kid. This is considered a desirable thing now, showing that this doe really has a will to milk and has the ability to continue that lactation further on into the year.
listening to the Benton County Public Podcast. This is Dan Kroll. I am in the 4-H building at the county fair on this first day of the fair. And I'm joined by Alicia, who is an enthusiastic rabbit owner. And what else?
I show rabbits, and I also show market rabbits. I breed Polish, and I do showmanship, and then I show them for breed. And I also will be selling my market rabbits at the auction on Saturday.
Cool. How long have you been involved with 4-H?
Well, I've been doing static, so like floral entries and canned goods and baked goods. I've been doing that since like the first year I could come, which is, I think I did it in 6th grade, and I've been doing it ever since. So I'm going to be a senior in high school, so I've been doing it for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, for like 7 years.
Wow. Sounds like a pretty cool part of your growing up years.
Yes, it has been. I've learned a lot of responsibility and how to take care of animals and how to budget, how to like keep track of how much I'm spending on my market rabbits, how much I'm making, the balance, and then for breeding rabbits, I've been you have to like get good rabbits that you know like are healthy, that you get from good stock, and that will fit well with the rabbits that you already have. And it really just works on like your just overall, ability to, I don't know.
To look after the rabbits.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like pretty valuable lessons to learn, especially if you're going to be doing that, going into, are you wanting to breed rabbits and continue doing that into adulthood?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm going to go to college, probably not local, so I won't be able to keep a lot of my rabbits, but it is a possibility.
What are you going to school for?
I'm thinking about going to school for communication and personal relations. I'm thinking about going to somewhere in California, maybe, or somewhere local, but I would like to go out of state. That'd be kind of fun and a new experience. I think I learned a lot from
Totally.
that.
Get out and see the world beyond just your own backyard.
Exactly, yeah.
What's your favorite part of the fair?
Oh, I mean, it's always fun to see all the people, and how enthusiastic they are about seeing the animals, and just about how interested they are in seeing the rabbits and just all the animals in general. It's fun to talk to the public and inform them. They always ask such great questions that I didn't even think about. And it's always good to get that new perspective. And because when you see them every day, it's they're just rabbits. But if people who don't own rabbits and are just seeing them, it's so cool to see their excitement for them.
For sure. It's a good way to share your enthusiasms and hobbies with people who may not ordinarily even think about rabbits.
Exactly.
What kind of animals are here in the 4-H building today?
Well, we have chickens, we have ducks, turkeys over there, and then we have some KVs, which are guinea pigs, and then we have water rabbits. Rabbits are definitely the favorite of the 4-H small animal barn.
There's at least several dozen different rabbits here.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of different breeds. There's 52 recognized breeds in the American Rabbit Breeders Association, so there can be a wide variety of rabbits here.
Are all 52 breeds usually kept as pets? Or are there some that aren't?
Yeah, you can keep all 52 as pets. However, some are definitely bred for more wool, some are bred for more meat. So it just depends. But yeah, you can keep them as pets. Some of the meat rabbits though, they get huge, and it's I would never want that big of a rabbit. They're dog size.
One of the first places one might go when they come to the fair is the information booth. And I am joined right now by a couple who has been at this information booth throughout the course of the fair for around 30 years. Can you tell us your names?
Steve Blowers.
Amelia Blowers. This is a wonderful little fair to come. We were here with our kids at 4-H too, so it's kind of part of what we do every summer. And they've got it run so well, and a lot of things for kids and for adults, and pretty day, perfect, so... Mm-hmm.
What are some of the questions that people come up and ask at the information booth?
Where do you buy tickets for the carnival? Big one.
Yeah, the big one. And where's some hamburgers that we can eat, or maybe those elephant ears, or, we need to know these.
And you were pointing to a binder. Does this have all of the fair information inside of it?
Yes, it does.
We hope. Yes.
And you have a map of the fair?
Mm-hmm.
Maps here on the front if somebody wants to come look. And we also have hard copies if they want to take their own of activities going on. And yeah.
If a child were lost, is this where they would come?
Yes, yes.
And we hold them, we call the security system here on our radio.
Mm-hmm.
Don't recall hardly any lost children
I don't either.
in all our years of doing this, actually.
Yeah.
So it's not that large of an area, so, it would be unusual.
And generally when you all are here at the booth, how long of a shift do you work each day?
We just have 2 hours.
Oh, just 2 hours?
Just 2 hours.
I was picturing all day you were here.
Oh, no. There's a lot of volunteers.
Yeah.
George, who's ahead of this, he said that he's got every 2 hours filled, so...
Oh, okay, so this is a volunteer effort?
It is a volunteer. Uh-huh. Yeah.
What is your favorite part about volunteering for the information booth?
Just meeting and seeing different people and just good conversation.
People we know, people we just met, and the kids.
Yeah.
That's fun to see. We were both teachers, and have kids our own, so it makes it special.
Well, you are listening to the Benton County Public Podcast, and we are hoping that a majority of those of you listening in, maybe you haven't had a chance to go to the fair yet, which the last day, Saturday night, August 3rd, is when the festivities close with Sawyer Brown on the main stage. But as we record this, it is Wednesday, just the young beginning of the fair. And as we look around, we see that there are people starting to fill the grounds. As we record this, it is an early part of the day, a very gentle breeze coming from the west. What's your favorite part of the fair?
For me right now is meeting people and maybe just getting out of the house too. Let this be a part of tradition because it's a great one to get started. Coming to the fair.
Thanks for joining us for this edition of the Benton County Public Podcast. Our executive producer is Corey Grogan. My name is Dan Kroll. I'm the host and producer of this podcast. If you have any feedback or you'd like to get in touch, maybe share some of your ideas, send us an email, pioinfo@bentoncountyor.gov. If you'd like to see the lineup for the Benton County Fair, head over to bentoncountyfair.net. It's going on through Saturday, August 3rd of 2024. And if you happen to catch this edition after that date, we hope you were able to join us, and if not, we hope today's edition was the next best thing. Our theme music was written and composed by Doug Sowers. I'm Dan Kroll. Join us next time for another edition of the Benton County Public Podcast.